Okay. All right. Hey, gang. So, uh, I'm okay. Trying to. I'm trying to find the way to start this video. Okay. So, as I was younger, when I was younger, and I learned, and I started, and I came to the beginning of knowledge of Christ, the beginning of knowledge of my Creator. Uh, in the sense of I already had when I was even younger as a child I had several experiences with the Father, um, very unique very unique experiences with the Father where he came to my aid even though I had not yet made that commitment. I knew it was him. There was an understanding there. um, in several occasions where, you know, you could even say it was life and death um, situations. And but as I as I as I came to to the Father, and after making that prayer and that commitment, and I started my walk. Um, as I've mentioned in videos before, the Father started showing me things. He led me straight into religion. The Father led me straight into religion for what I found out afterwards, after all the heartache and the confrontations and the grief and the falling out with folks that I thought that they were supposed to be there, for my development and there for my benefit and for the glory of the Father and all of that. And they were, but not in the way that you would think that people are going to be there when they claim to represent the Father, or Christ, right? There's If you are called by His name and you have great purpose, uh, and the Father has business with you. As a matter of fact, we all have great purpose with the Father. When you open that door and you uh, receive the sacrifice and you embark on your journey with Christ, we all have great purpose. And you'll find that the Father will utilize people uh, in ways that you did not foresee them being utilized. And all for His glory, all for your development, for the building of the character, for the slaying of the flesh, so that the Word may be made flesh in you. Heartache, pain, ache happens. Things, people fall short of your expectations on purpose. The Father purposely leads you towards that, right? So as I was led directly into religion right off the rip to learn what religion was. Okay, because my prayers, as I've mentioned again before, my prayers basically looked like I, you know, I don't know where to go from here. I accept the sacrifice. I accept Christ as my Lord and Savior. I'm here. I'm here, but I don't know. I don't know what happens next. I don't know where I go next from here to start my journey with you. So the Father answered that almost immediately, and I was led into a church. Okay. Because I knew that I had answered and I had spoken with God, with Yah, but I've always been so out of the box that denominations and sects of religions and, a belief, sects of religious beliefs and all that didn't equate up here because I had a real encounter with my creator. I knew that I was talking to God. It was a real encounter. It was a real dialect, in, direct communication I was having with God. So I didn't see labels. I've never seen labels and titles and or sects of religions and this belief or that belief, and it was never that. It was actually just a direct connection with Yah. you know so I asked him, it's like, where do I go from here in totality? That was my question. Do I go, what church do I go? There's so many Christian churches. Is it this, is it that, is it the other, right? Me knowing better now, you know but at that time I was led directly into a Hispanic bilingual Christian Christ-based soul claimed, uh, Jesus on the outside of the building, all that jazz, uh, Pentecostal roots Christianity type, bilingual Hispanic, all that, right? I was led right right in there, into that scene right off the rip, you know. Um, and that's where I started to. The Father started feeding my, as an infant newborn, I started feeding immediately. Like the word was just like making itself right in me, like it doesn't matter who was quoting word. If they were quoting word, the spirit was directing that frequency straight into my chest, like it was just like it was all landing. If it was word, it didn't matter who spoke it. It didn't matter who spoke it. If it was word being spoken, the spirit of the Father was grabbing it, and it was like straight digestion, So that happened for a good while, and then came the moment where it didn't even take more than a year, really, and I was in my late teens, and the moment came when I was like head on with the contradictions, head on with religious spirit that really ran the scene of the organization that it was, because they are organizations, okay, in every sense of the word. And the Father started to show me things that I wasn't completely yet matured enough in the spirit to comprehend until a little while after. Like I got mad at God. I got mad at the Father and everything, like I went through a whole thing because because it was his fault. He literally led me there for me to have strife and heartache, and to be rejected when I did nothing but show the obvious to people, and I was and I was labeled, I was blackballed basically and labeled the black sheep by the higher ups because their agenda was being compromised by the truth that I was speaking, because I was getting the attention of others uh, that weren't part of the inner workings of the business that is church, right? So immediately the Father started to show me, okay, so we're there, boom, infancy, religion in my face. I'm being unjustly labeled and thrown around, and false witness being made about me. You name it. because they have to. The devil has to protect his business, you know? Ouch, right? Somebody out there saying ouch right now. Good, good. So I came to the point, I stopped caring about going to church. I stopped going to church altogether. Couple of years pass by, and the Father starts little by little, continually. Like, this has been my development with the Father the whole way through, just him showing me, remember what happened there? Remember what happened there? Remember how you were upset? This is why I took you there. This is what I was showing you. This is what's going on. And me putting two and two together. Now, mind you, there's a certain point when you get in your walk with the Father in spirit and truth that you're not going to fit anywhere else. You're just not. And you're not supposed to. You're not going to fit in the cookie cutter programming of religions. Okay? And religion is religion, guys. I don't care. Like I've mentioned before, I've seen it. I don't want to say I've seen it all in sound, but I've seen a lot. From the big city to the countryside. I don't care if you just hang out with a group of folks in the woods or you rent the freaking cabin for the weekend. I don't care. Religion is religion. And you know it because it's more based the empathy and the equation towards human need to mankind, the need of mankind goes away and it turns into a legalism. The moment that the word turns into legalism, you have religion. This is spirit right now, guys. Okay? I always ask the Father to speak. Okay? I didn't read this in a book. I don't have a fancy YouTubers that I watch to tell me these things. This is straight from the source. Okay? I've never said these words until this moment, okay? The moment that the words on that book turn to a legalistic action and behavior and expectation of legalism, you have a religion. And a religion is not a relationship with your creator. A religion puts blinders on you to keep you from listening and seeing the truth that the Spirit tells you, the interpreter of what's in that book. Because remember, I don't give a crap if you believe in your heart of hearts that the scriptures or whatever version of the book you are reading, the Ethiopian, which I have, by the way, it's fire. It's pretty good stuff. Whatever. Or New King James or King James or whatever version, New Living Translation, they all are tainted and a lot gets lost in translation. A lot gets lost in translation and a lot is misinterpreted on purpose. And a lot is screwed up on purpose. So I don't care what Bible you believe is the truth. Those words have been tempered with, okay? The order of those words have been tempered with, all right? So you need the Spirit. The same Spirit, like I've mentioned before, the same Spirit of the Father, of Yah, of the Creator, that inspired the man that wrote it, that you so believe and trust and have made your legalized religion on, right? That same Spirit is the one that reveals to you, that interprets what you're reading. This is why it's so important for you to have a relationship and not a religion. Okay? If you're always following by the letter, or by the letter, word for word, or this is, that takes a stoning. Be careful. And I don't use the word wish because I'm not a wizard. But be careful what you desire for another man. Be very careful what you desire for another man, because you may find yourself one day in the erroneous legalistic situation where you are called to be stoned. And because you are caught up in a religion, in a legalistic based foundation of group of men that believe that it is what it is, now you're going to get stoned to death on a legality. Be very careful what you desire for another man, okay? Because vengeance is mine, says the Lord. All right? There's many things in that book that direct you towards allowing the Father to handle the spiritual warfare, because it's not against flesh and blood. The lie of the devil is trying to get you angry at the flesh and the blood so that you can destroy yourselves. That's the lie of the devil. Okay. So going back to the religious stuff. So these men, I have confirmed both, right? Both of the situations with these men in these pulpits and these men in these positions of reverence, right? With these men given titles of deacon and apostles and pastors, you name it, bishops and whatever, right? And most of them, I have confirmed that they know very well what they're doing, and their heart is very much evil and greedy. And they have greedy, selfish intent in manipulating the hearts of the humble masses that gravitate towards them because they believe that they are holding some light that they somehow cannot attain themselves. You see, that's the great lie. Because Christ died and resurrected and ascended so that the helper could come and we could all have that light in repentance and acceptance of his sacrifice that he laid behind for us as a blueprint back to the Father. You understand what I'm saying? Replay it back. Listen to what I'm saying over and over again until it starts to click. Pray about what I'm saying. Okay? So I have confirmed that a lot of these men have evil intent in their heart. Now, there are some that are blinded. And because they're blinded, they fall into this lie. And granted, they're both being lied to. It's just one is more lied to than the other. It's both a lie. One is lied to, thinking that, oh yeah, I'll do all this evil, but the Father forgive me, the Father knows. And he starts to lie to himself. That man starts to lie to himself, thinking that what he's doing is righteous by leading all of these people into the path that he's going, while he himself is the only one. Him and his folk are the only ones that want to stay on the top. So they're building a kingdom of slaves on the back of slaves, a pyramid scheme, if I may, in the backs of slaves, of the humble hearts of believers, of men that are actually looking, men and women that are actually looking for that encounter with God and don't know how to come at the feet of the Messiah through a simple prayer, through simple one-on-one in their own sacred time and sacred space and place with their Creator. So they feel that need to go into a building full of other men that they believe in their hearts that are seeking for the same thing. And there's a moment in the time for that. Because remember, we are the temple. We are the church. We are the dwelling of the Holy Spirit. But there is a time for the gathering of the saints. But that's when everyone is in unison with the Creator in spirit and truth. Not the blind leading the blind. Okay? So I have confirmed, I've seen it. I have seen this. I have helped these men build their kingdoms in my infancy. in my adolescence of my spiritual walk, I have helped these men build these kingdoms. Okay? I'm not speaking to you from something I don't know anything about. All right? And I know I look young, but I have 44 years of age, and a great part I have spent studying, self-experiencing religion and what it does to man. The very person that led me to that prayer, that was an instrument of the Father, to this day is still with blinders on and very well caught up in religion. And I care deeply for that person. I do. I care deeply for that person and their family, and I do anything that I can in my power according to the Father's will for that person and their family to come to the light of the Father, to the light of Christ, right? But I have witnessed it hands on, like I've been there myself to this day. I see it everywhere. Like I've mentioned, religion is everywhere, right? The indoctrination is everywhere. So, but these men that I'm talking about, that I've been trying to, it's been weighing heavy on me, guys. And I have to come here and I have to say this, because there's a lot of folks that have good hearts, that have turned from a much more evil life to a life of accepting Christ. And somewhere down the line, they have found themselves in these groups, in these places. And the time is coming where a lot of these one men will, both in the city, they will sell you out. They have done it already. They will sell you out to save their own necks. This will happen. They're Judases. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. They will sell you out to save their own necks when they meet that fork in the road, only to see Judas went and hung himself, right? For 30 pieces of silver, he betrayed the master, right? Interesting observation there, right? For 30 pieces of silver. For the love of money, So, in the big city, in the countryside, you may have these patriotic, egotistic individuals that are very, very far from actually listening to the voice of the Father, and may lead hundreds of thousands into the belief of taking actions. And you will be led into the trap of the devil, following man. Because the devil is in the details, guys. Listen, I know what's in those files. I get it. I understand. I get it. I came to the States as a child, legally, I may add, from a third world situation. Okay. To this day, the place of which I came from are still dealing with scarcity, dictatorship, basically a type of form of slavery. But guess what? I'm seeing those same signs here. From the bit that I know from that regime and that situation of which the Father liberated me from, I'm seeing the same signs here. Same signs in this land that the Father brought me to. But I'm seeing men being misled. Whether these men mean well in their hearts and they're truly just blind, they really truly are just blind, or they have chosen to lie to themselves. Because you are looking at these, plural, one man that you believe has somehow more light than you can attain from the creator of the universe, you will fail. And you will be led into a trap because you're following a man when your eyes should be on your Messiah. So tread lightly. Humble your heart. Stop fearing. I get it. I know what's in those files. I get that. I get it. I understand. I understand. We have all been victimized to some degree. And I know someone's going to watch this and be like, well, if this and that would happen to him and blah, blah, blah. Listen, guy. These one man, they love to utilize good, reasonable excuses. They will easily utilize situations as amulets. They will easily utilize the calamity of individuals to show up as the hero in order to build a brand. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a half-stepping here. You have to ask the Father, get with the Father on your own time and drown out the chaos that's coming in your ear. Scrutinize your heart and ask the Father to show you what's real and who is real around you. Because it might just be you, but it may not just be you. It may be you and your family. It may be you and your children. And it's not the chaos in this world that we should concern ourselves with. None of us going to make it out of here alive, guys. But our eternal certainty, our eternal outcome is what we should be concerning ourselves with. Not just for us, but for our family, for our children. So I implore you, you, true child of the Most High, I implore you, for your sake, not because I want to sell you a t-shirt, not because I want 200 or 3 or 1 million subscribers, not because I'm trying to pay my bills off YouTube, not because of any of that. I'm asking you, I'm imploring you for yourself, because if you hurt, I hurt. And I've already made peace that if I hurt, no one will care. Or maybe they won't. It doesn't matter. If they do, bless your heart. Thank you. Glory to the Most High, that I was able to bring some kind of value to your life in some way, shape, or form, so that you may have gratitude over me. I'll lay my crowns down when I see them, because none of that is my glory. It belongs to my Father in heaven. But I have made peace because I don't have a dog in the fight, in the sense of I'm not doing it so that I can be praised. I come out here half PJs and half wearing the same sweater almost every video. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm here because the Father put it in my heart to come and shine light because of the experiences and the things that He has shown me that I can clearly see that man cannot see. Especially those that come to Him and are being led and called by Him. Oh, but so you're some kind of savior now? So, I am exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what the Father told me to do. The Father doesn't need me, but it pleases Him to use me. I'm just here. The Father's will be done, whether I'm here or not. But I'm here because that's His desire for me to be here speaking to you, whoever it is. Okay? called by his name for his purpose and his glory. So I ask you to scrutinize your heart. Scrutinize your heart and ask the Father to reveal to you the curtain truth, the curtain truth of your situation, where you are at, and who you are surrounded by, and what these individuals represent in your life, and where is your heart at in reference to all of that. Am I here because of this person, or am I here because I truly know in my heart that the Father led me here, and I truly see what the purpose is of these individuals in my life, and what I'm here, and what they're here for, and what I'm here for. And there may very well come a time when you realize that your time in that environment is done, because those individuals serve their purpose. And I'm not talking to everyone. This is not for everyone. If you know this is for you, this is for you, because you were called with a purpose. Okay? Again, I didn't even know how to start this video, but this has been brewing in me for a while, because the Father keeps showing me it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. What's coming? I can't put it in words. I really can't tell you, but other than things are going to get even weirder, things are going to get difficult. It's not for you to worry. It's not for you to fear. It's for you to have done the things that you can do, and trust the Father for the things you cannot do anything about, and truly have faith in the one that you say you serve and created you and made you in his image. Just think of this, guys. I'm trying to bring you with me here, man. I'm trying to bring you with me here in where I'm at. We are born in a world where everything has a beginning and an end. Even in the text, when we read the text, says the Father, the Creator, is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. But we know that the Father, just come with me here. We know that the Father is and has always been and will always be, because he's in, I was going to say, ADD break. He is omnipotent. The Father is omnipotent on a level that is beyond our physical comprehension. Us in this physical form in our body, in the current state of consciousness that we're in. He's omnipotent beyond our comprehension. How can we comprehend that he is a God of creation that has always been, always has been, and always will be? Like he really has no beginning or no end, because he is the beginning and the end, but the beginning and the end still have a cap. And he goes beyond the cap into infinity on both ends. I don't know if you're catching what I'm saying here. The magnitude of the granditude of the being that created us is so big that we can't even create a scale to measure. You understand? Because the moment that we come up with that scale, well, no, it's infinity past that. You understand what I'm saying? This is the God that we serve. Okay? That one that doesn't fit in any scale, that doesn't fit in any ruler of any size, any unit of measurement, that God is the God of creation. He's the one that made you and I. That's the one you serve. I saw there's this meme, right? It goes around. I crack up every time I see it. It's like a picture of the cosmos, and you see our galaxy, and then it's got a little arrow, a little pop-up, a little caption, and it has a little arrow pointing, and this is you here paying taxes to pedophiles. And I said that word, and now my video is going to get taken down. And it's hilarious to me because that's exactly what we're doing. PDF files. That's what I meant to say. Here you are. This is the cosmos. This is the entirety of the infinite cosmos. This is our galaxy, and this is you paying taxes to PDF. And it's that's exactly my point. My point is that we get lost in the sauce of this world. The devil is in the details. We get lost in the sauce of this world, and we lose sight of the fact that we have to learn. That's part of the process. That's part of the blueprint that leads us back to the Father. That's why we have to have a relationship and not create another religion. Religion is what killed Christ. Granted, in the grand picture, it was all meant to be. But understand what I'm saying. Religion is what killed our deliverer. You understand what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in another religion. Stop being legalistic. Why do you want a religion when you have the Creator? Let the Spirit, let the one that started that good work in you finish it. Because He's not a man to lie. He started it, He will finish it. Stop trying to do it on your own. If you're hearing the voice of the Father speak through whatever vessel, through whatever means, don't ignore the Spirit. Even when that voice, and that's a voice of reasoning because it's hitting you right there. It's hitting you right here. And it's convicting you. It's a conviction. And you know the voice of your Creator when it's your Creator. Because it doesn't sound, there's confusion when it's the enemy. There's confusion. And confusion is not of your Father in heaven. But when the voice of your Father in heaven speaks to you, there's certainty. There's a seal in your heart of truth. The problem is that this is also written in those texts. And when you start to ignore the voice of the Spirit of the Father long enough, you start creating these lies, legalistically using the text to excuse your behavior, your carnal behavior of selfishness, and you stump your growth. And the Father allows you to continue to believe the lie, and to the point that the lie becomes that conviction. And now you think that those lies become the voice of what you think the Spirit is. And it's no longer the Father talking to you, because you stopped listening to Him 100 bus stops ago. 100 bus stops ago, He told you to get off. But you have too much at stake because you're fearful. You have too much at stake in this carnal world. Oh, I can't do that. I have 20 salaries. I got 20 men, 20 families underneath with this lie that I have created. I can't do that. Yeah, there's consequences. Yes, there will be consequences. Absolutely. You're no longer going to be revered. and favored by all those men that believe that you were something that you were not the whole time. Yes, there will be consequences, but eventually the truth will surface. Whether you do it now or later, the truth will surface, and you'll end on the wrong side of history regardless. I want a clean and clear conscience with my Creator. The only time that I want to be awake at night is when the Spirit of the Father knocks me and tells me, hey, it's time to pray. Or, hey, I want you to tell these folks this right now. Oh, but it's 2:45 in the morning right now. Hey, I need you to, you see that? You see that darkness that just stepped in? It's not welcome here. Let them know. And it's not like the Father can't keep it from, but the Father allows it to for my development. But where am I at in obedience with the Spirit of the Father? Again, I'm not talking to everybody here, but if you know, you know. If you know who you are, you know who you are. And if you know your Father's voice, you know your Father's voice. I don't know what else to say. If it were possible, even the elect would be deceived. Do you understand the gravity of that? If it were possible, if it were possible, and I've been there, man, I've been there. Even lately, I have to check my flesh at the door constantly because it's tough. It's tough because I'm still growing together in here, still growing together, the wheats and the tares. It's tough. But the Father knows. The Father knows what level of a test to put you through. Of course, He knows, but it's tough. If possible, listen to the gravity of those words. If it were possible, even the elect would be deceived. That's the granditude of the situation. Be very, very careful that you're not being led by a man of flesh with a mind of flesh, a sinful mind of flesh, into a situation that the Spirit of the Father did not call you to be in. Am I done? Bless you guys. Bless you guys. See you on the next one.